This is my trusty jigsaw, or one of my trusty jigsaws, which I managed to cut the cable through when I was cutting the hedge. So I just thought it'd be an hour wasted putting a new cable on. But I put a new cable on and then it wouldn't switch off. I assumed it was the switch, so therefore I took the switch into pieces. May have been a very silly thing to do, but it taught me how the switch works, I think. So what we have essentially is 3 big lumps of plastic, one which is the housing, one which is the trigger, which seems to slit in like that and go backwards and forwards, and then this middle piece which contains the terminals, the brass terminals. So here we have a terminal where the neutral wire comes in and the neutral to the motor goes out. Here we have the live going off to the motor, but we have 2 inputs. The reason for this, I think, is this diode here. So if we wanted 110 volts, we would put it into here and it would come straight out there, and as soon as that was joined it would send 110 volts off to the motor. However, we're 240 volts, so if I put 240 volts into here, goes through the diode, gives me 120 volts, which then goes off to the motor, which shouldn't affect it too much. So here I have the 2 pads that need joining to make it work. I suspect that the thing that moves across is this minute little thing which has a little blip on the bottom, and I assume that it works with this arm here, which looks like it could go where? Actually on the trigger bit, because that's what moves. So it looks like that goes on the trigger bit, goes in there, and then goes backwards and forwards using that spring to push itself back up with. The difficult thing seems to be this little piece, which is hardly big enough for me to see. It has a little blob on that end, and it can go on the top of there. But then I need to be able to get the bits back together, and the idea that that is going to balance there while I try and put this on the top is probably 0. Yes, 0. Leapt off. So let's try with some gunge, and the gunge I'm going to use is heatsink compound. A, because I had it easy to hand, and B, I don't think it's going to interfere at all with the operation of the switch. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, we'll find out. So that has to go onto there with the little notch on the tiny piece going into the groove on the larger piece. So can I get those to stay together? While I put the bank back together, so that can go into there. That seems to be stuck on the top. That then needs to come somehow up to the bottom there without falling off. And have I done it? think I had done it, but it didn't work. Try again. Throw it on the bench. It's got to come there. That has to touch against there, and that has to go there. This then that looks about right. That comes down and goes back. There. Comes apart. When it gets to there, that comes down, goes back again, that comes down, goes back. That looks alright to me. Made this little tool, highly sophisticated, bits of circuit board on a lump of wood. So let's try this with a meter just to check it works. So we can shove the meter into there, the other side of the meter. Should have done something more sophisticated here, I think. That one goes in there. So that's come away, and then that goes back. So that certainly seems to work. I suppose I ought to be looking at the meter, but I can hear the buzzing. Let's try it. No buzzing. Buzzing. Right then, so that's got that part in. If I slide this apart, still trying to keep that together, that will have to come right out, I think. Is that as far as it goes? And then in the bottom, I have the spring to go. Assuming it hasn't lost the spring. Come here, spring. That then goes into there, comes across. Should come across. Oh, that's moved in. That's moved out. That's in there. Looks like it's working. All I need to do now is to put it into there. All that just goes into there, just slides down. It's Just going to go poyoing in it. No chance.